Good morning, everybody, and welcome to part 2 of our baking marathon. We're going to start with, let's see here. I have soft gingerbread cookies we still need to make. We have peanut brittle we're going to make. I went and took it upon myself to make the apple squares last night. I will insert a little video for you right here of me doing that so you can see what I did. But we're going to start with baking those first. So I'll give you a look at what those look like. Okay, so I had them in the fridge all night. I thought about it last night and how much I still had to do. So I made these last night. I did film it, and I will insert it right after this, right after I show you, so you guys can see how I made these. So this is the apple squares. I'm going to bake this for probably 45 minutes to an hour at 350. So I'm going to put these in the oven, and then we'll get started on the peanut brittle. So I'm starting here by rolling out the pre-made pie crust that we made probably a week or two ago in one of my videos. So I had the pie crust already made. So I'm just rolling it out to size for the pan that I have in front of me here. I do end up having to piece it together a little bit just because it's not long enough in certain areas. You'll see that here in a minute. So now that I have the bottom crust done, I am taking a jar of the homemade apple pie filling that we made in a previous video together. That is on my channel if you want to look and see how I made this. So I'm just spreading that out on the bottom layer here. And then I'm going to be starting to roll out the top layer. This is basically like an apple pie with like a nice lemony apple glaze on top. So I'm just taking it out of the jar and going to spread it around, and then we're going to do the top of this. This recipe ended up being quite simple because I had all of the components already made. I already had the pie dough made, and I already had the apple pie filling made. So it was super simple to put together and fast. So here is where I'm starting to roll out the top portion. It is also just pie dough, and I need to make it long enough to fit on top here, but this is a pretty quick process, and it's very, very delicious. These were a huge hit. Now that I have the top layer on, I am just pinching the edges together to seal them together basically for when they're baking. It does end up seeping a little bit, but that's not a big deal. And then I'm about to cut some breathing holes out the top of the squares, and then we get ready to bake it. Later on in the video, we do make the glaze for this, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so for the peanut brittle, let's start with the sugar. So we're going to double this recipe. So we need 2 cups of sugar, so we need 4. This is a half cup measure. 1, 2, 3. It's a lot of sugar. 4. Then we need, if we're doubling it, we need half a cup of light corn syrup. So we're going to double it, and that should be a whole cup. Oh, I need to get a spoon. Oh, maybe this one will work. Okay, I'm going to add just a tiny bit more just because I didn't fill it completely full. Okay, and we need 1 whole cup of water. Yes, because it's half a cup for one and a whole cup for double. Okay, so now we just need to bring this together. Let this cook a bit, melt together. I'm just mixing everything together here. I'll give you a look. This is what it looks like. Okay, so I need to heat this mixture until it gets to 340 degrees. So I'm going to let that do its thing. It should take about 15 or 20 minutes. When it's closer to that time, I'll come back and show you the rest. Okay, so I think, way over here. So I'm going to have to start over. Yeah, that looks way too much. So I'm going to start over, and then I'll give you the progress once it gets up to 300 or so degrees. Okay, I have the mixture restarted here. I have the heat a little bit lower. I think that might have been the problem. I didn't quite have it low enough, I think. So we'll see here. So I'm going to bring this up to around 300, and then I'll come back and show you guys the rest. I just took the apple squares out of the oven. I'm going to let them cool, and then in a bit we're going to put like a glaze on top before we cut them into squares. But for now, this is almost ready. And it's not burnt this time. I've been watching it pretty carefully. So it's almost there, and then we can start adding the other ingredients. Okay, so it's finally reached the temperature. It's a nice golden brown. So now we need to add in some baking soda and some butter. So we need a half a teaspoon of baking soda. Just mix it all in. Oh, that foams right up, doesn't it? Didn't expect that. Oh my. Okay, and then we need to add in 6 tablespoons of butter. I'm just trying not to burn myself here. Okay, and one more. Okay. And then we just mix it all up. Oof, this is really sticky. And once that's melted, we add the peanuts. I didn't think we would need both bags because the second time after I messed it up, I didn't I didn't double the recipe. So I sprayed this parchment paper here. I know this is supposed to kind of do its own thing here, but it's kind of thick. I know you're supposed to do this fairly quick. I sprayed the paper with this spray here, cooking spray. But I'm going to do something that my grandmother taught me just because this is really hot. I'm going to take some butter, see if I can do this without burning myself. No, it's a little too hot still. She taught me to put butter on your hands and then swish it out. Ooh, that went hard really fast. I just want to spread it out a bit. Ooh. It's going to be delicious though. Okay, I think that's good enough. We'll just break it into pieces later. Gotta do this super fast. Okay, let me put some water in the pot so that it doesn't get all really hard to wash. So since we somewhat got that spread out, somewhat, let's start on the soft gingerbread cookies so I can get those cooking. So I'm going to double the recipe. So I need a whole cup of butter. We're using my mixer here since I bent the beaters on my hand mixer. Okay. Now we need 1 1.5 cups of butter. Not butter, sugar, sorry. So let me wipe my hands here. So 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar for one recipe, so 1.5. This 1/2 cup measure. One and a half. We also need 1/2 cup of brown sugar. That's doubled. So 1/4 cup if you're doing single. Okay, let's cream that together and then we'll put some of the rest of the stuff in. Okay, so let's crack 2 eggs into it. This is doubled. Two eggs. Now we need 1/4 cup of molasses, so double 1/2 cup. Oh, that one's not gonna open. Okay, so 1/2 cup of molasses.
This is what gives it the nice ginger taste to it, this and the ginger. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna have to wipe my container here. Okay, let's give that a mix. Okay, now let's add the salt and the baking soda and some of the seasonings. Okay, so baking soda, we need 1 teaspoon, so we need 2. 2. And then salt, we need about 1/4 teaspoon. That's doubled. It's about 1/8 teaspoon for 1. Okay, and then cinnamon and ginger. So we need 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, so 2. 2. And 2 teaspoons of ground ginger, so 4. 2, 3, 4. Let me just make sure we have everything but the flour. So let's mix this in and then we'll put the flour in. Okay, let's add the flour. So we need 2 1/4 cups, so 4 1/2 cups of flour. So we're going to put 2 in at a time here, I think. 2. Three, 4. It smells really good. Okay, let's do this last one here. Now it's 1/2 cup. Okay, let me scrape the sides here because I see it's not mixing completely well. I like to make sure it's mixed nice and evenly, especially with the baking soda. It can be quite strong, and if you get a bite of that, oof. Okay. Okay. So let's spoon these out onto a baking sheet and get them in the oven. I just tasted some of the peanut brittle. It's really good. I'm glad I redid it. I wouldn't have gave that to people though when it was all burnt like that. So these are supposed to bake for between 12 and 15 minutes. Hopefully they turn out nice. I'm just using my large scoop here. I'm not sure how much these are going to spread, so I'm only doing 3 wide here. Normally I would do 3 or 4, but I have a feeling these might spread just a little bit, so we'll see. So as long as they're nice and soft and chewy, that's the goal. Smells so good. I can smell the molasses and the ginger. Some of the cinnamon. Smells good. So this is the last recipe we're making until we get to putting certain things together. So the next recipe we're going to do after this one is taking the brownie mixture. I don't know if you can see on camera, but I have a whole bunch of containers here full of stuff we did yesterday. And we're going to put the cherries in the middle of the cherry brownie bombs so they can be covered with chocolate. And then after we finish rolling the cherries into the brownies, we're going to roll everything in chocolate. We have to do the Thin Mints, have to be put chocolate into, covered in chocolate. The pretzel rods, we got to do pretzel rods. Those will be super fast and easy though. And what else? Those are the 2. Oh, the cherry, chocolate covered cherry bombs. Those need to be covered in chocolate. The Thin Mints and and the pretzel rods. So other than that, that's what we're doing after this. So I'm going to cook the rest of these. And then as soon as I'm done that, we'll come back and we'll start making the cherry bombs. Okay, while we wait for the cookies to finish cooking, I'm going to make the glaze for the apple squares here. So I'm going to put in half a cup of icing sugar. I'm going to pour in, oh, this is so tight, a little bit of unsweetened applesauce, just for a little bit of apple flavor. I actually have homemade stuff, but I'm trying to use the applesauce that I have stocked. And some lemon juice, just for a little bit of brightness flavor. See if that's enough liquid. This is a recipe. These apple squares, basically like an apple pie square with like a glaze on top. My grandma used to make these all the time when I was younger. It was one of my favorite things she used to make. So I'm just giving it a mix here. I'm going to give it a taste in a second here. I think it might need a little bit more icing sugar. The only thing that's different about this that my grandmother didn't do was putting applesauce in it. That's good. It's pretty sweet. I think I'm going to add a little bit more of this. Just to offset some of the sweetness. There we go. That's a little better. Okay. I should have like a tasting stick or something. It'd be easier than dirtying my spoons. Better. It's got like a lemon taste to it now. It's really good. It's got like a tang to it. It's good. Okay, so all I'm going to do is drizzle this on top of this. That's it. Let me check the cookies. I let it go for another couple minutes. So I don't want to overcook them. Yeah, they're ready to come out. Let me take those out and then we'll finish this part. The first batch is cooling over on the counter over there, and the second batch is in. Okay. Okay, so all I'm going to do is just drizzle it. That's it. This was one of my favorite things she used to make. I'm sure it won't taste anywhere near like my grandmother's, but try to keep some traditions alive. And then we're just going to let this cool for a little bit longer. And then when we're ready to package stuff, we will cut into this. As you've seen in the video, I did use my homemade pie crust that we made together in a different video, and my homemade apple pie filling. There we go. So I'm just going to let this cool, and I'm going to give you a look at the cookies that I just took out of the oven. Okay, so these are the gingerbread cookies that I just took out of the oven. They're nice and soft, as you can see. So I just need to wait for the other ones to come out, and then we can get started on the cherry brownie bombs. Okay, so see you soon. So I cut up the brownie mixture into the bowl here. I did leave some of the top crusty area on it. I don't think that should be a big deal. So all I'm going to do is form a ball. Hopefully these turn out. If not, we'll just make brownie balls and cover them in chocolate. So I'm going to make a thumbprint in the middle here. I'm going to stick a cherry in the middle. Close it over. Oh, yeah, that should work. It's going to be a little bigger than I was hoping for, but I think that'll be fine. Like that. And then we'll cover them in chocolate. So I'll do one more on camera here, and then I'll probably do the rest of these off camera, so you don't have to watch me do every single one. And then when I come back, we're going to start melting some chocolate. I have a whole bunch of different chocolate here. I have some chocolate melts. I have some dark chocolate, and I have some milk chocolate. I had to think about that for a minute. They're a little bigger than I was hoping for, but that's okay. Just like that. So I'm going to do the rest of these off camera, and when we come back, we'll start covering things in chocolate. So I finished the balls. I melted some chocolate here. This is some chocolate melts. This is supposed to be a red color, but it's more of a pink. But it's okay. These are cherries, so all I'm going to do is dump them in, cover them, and put them back on. I have a really big slotted fork here, hopefully to get most of the chocolate off. I have so many different kinds of chocolate on the counter here, getting ready. I haven't melted them all yet because I don't want to have them harden while I'm doing other stuff. So I'll melt them as we need them. I also got the pretzel rods ready because I'm going to do it in many of the different flavors of chocolate. So I wanted to have them ready so that all I had to do is dip them in. I want to cover these first though. So I'm just showing you the process of what I'm doing here. And then I'll probably do most of this off camera so you don't have to watch every single one. This is one of my serving forks that I'm using for like meat and stuff. Seems to be working pretty good actually. So later when we melt the white chocolate, I'm going to do some drizzles on top of these just for show, just so they look nice. I chose melts for a couple reasons. I'm not super good at tempering chocolate. I am learning still where that is concerned. And melts are a little easier to handle and they stay melted longer. But I did buy some milk chocolate and some dark chocolate for the Thin Mints. So we still need to cover those. Okay, so I'll do this last one and then I'll finish the rest off camera. And I'll come back when I'm doing the pretzel rods here. There we go. Let me get a plate. Okay, so I finished the cherry bombs. So now I'm just going to take some pretzels, dip them in chocolate. And then I'm going to take some sprinkles. One sec here. Still got packaging on it. And then I'm going to sprinkle them on the plate. Like that. Let them sit. Like I did say, I wanted to do a few of these of every kind of chocolate that I have here. So we're going to do these in stages as we start melting for the other goodies that we're making. Like that. I'm just going to let them set. That's the other thing I really like about these meltable chocolate melts, pardon me, is you can reheat them. So if we want some more of this color later and it hardens a little bit, I can remelt it. So I think the next thing that we're going to do in chocolate is the Thin Mints. That one I think is going to take me a little bit. So I think we should get started on that one. I think I'm going to do them in dark chocolate with mint dark chocolate. Let me do a couple more of these and then we will move on to the Thin Mints. If the chocolate was in a glass, this would be a little easier, but it was easier for it to be in a bowl to cover the cherries, so. There we go. A couple more, and then we will move on. Leave the rest for some of the mint ones and the white chocolate, milk chocolate. Okay, so now let's move on to the Thin Mints and covering them with chocolate. I melted some dark chocolate here. Hopefully it's enough for all these cookies. Okay, so we need about 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of peppermint extract. This is to go on the Thin Mint cookies. And we're probably going to do some of the pretzel rods too. If there's enough, hopefully. Okay, let's see how well I do with this. I'm not so great at covering things with chocolate. It's usually quite a messy process when I do this. Hopefully I get a little better at this as I go. I'm hoping this doesn't need to be reheated, just because chocolate tends to harden quite quickly. And as you can see, we made a lot of these yesterday. If we don't have enough, maybe I'll coat them with some milk chocolate. I did buy milk chocolate too, so. So I'll do a couple more here, and then I'll do the majority of these off camera, so you don't have to watch me do every single one here. This might take me a bit, so there are, I think we made close to 85 or so of these cookies. So that's why I have so much parchment paper out. I think these are going to be delicious. The cookie themselves, I tasted, and it tastes yummy. Okay, so last one here, and then I'll do the rest off camera, and I'll show you guys once they're done. You don't want to watch me do 85 of these. So I'll be right back once these are done. Okay guys, that took me a couple hours. So I'm going to show you everything that I did within the couple hours. Okay, so I used all of my dark chocolate. I used all of my milk chocolate. I used all of my white chocolate. I put mint in all of these. Then I did some more pretzel rods. And I put some of the white chocolate on top of the cherry bombs. Okay, so now we just need to package all of this. Okay, while we're waiting for all the chocolate to set, there's quite a few of them, we're going to package up the cookies, the peanut brittle, and the apple squares, hopefully. So I got these cute little bags, cute little ones, and I have some paper bags here too. I do this every year. I write labels just so I can put it on the packaging, and so when they open the box they know what it is, just in case they're allergic to something. So let's start with the cookies. So this is basically how I'm going to be packaging everything, just so you don't have to watch me package everything. So it does take me a while to write these out, but it's worth it. Hopefully this fits in the bag. I never even thought to check. I didn't intend to make them this big. Oh, just look at that. So I think I'm gonna put one of these per bag, and it's got the little label on it. People like to know what they're eating, right? So I like to make sure that I have it labeled. And then once everything is in a package, we will just assemble the boxes and it'll be great. My son loves these. He's already eaten 3 of them. My daughter already tried the chocolate chip fudge as well. So that's been dipped into as well. So I am just going to put one of each of these. I also have a platter to make. So I have a whole bunch of Christmas boxes, and then at least one platter. So I'm not going to put all of these in the packages, just enough for the boxes, and then I'll leave 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4 for the platter. Ooh. I like things to look beautiful when I give them to people as a gift. I also have some polka dot packaging as well that's really cute that I've used for the last couple of years. I'm not sure if I have any of it left. I might have to look. I think I might run out of packaging here. So, okay, so I'm going to finish these and then I'll finish those and give you a look. I'm just packaging some of the peanut brittle. I didn't have enough of the white bags. I should have bought more. So we're just going to use Ziploc. I already did both sets of cookies. I'll put a label on these afterwards. It'll be a little easier. I wish I had been able to do double of these, but I burnt it. Accidents happen, right? Okay, so I see the chocolate isn't quite set. There's some of the middle ones here that aren't quite set. And there's a few of the pretzel rods that aren't quite set yet. So once some of the chocolate is done, I'll give you a little peek at me packaging some of that too. Okay, so I'm packaging some of these. I kind of want to give one a taste, so I think I'm going to do this broken one right here. Hope they taste similar to my grandmother's. That was my goal. That's good. My son's going to love these. Hope that's died here. Let me just wash my hands. Okay. Hopefully I can get these out nicely. Sticky, crusty bit on the bottom here. That looks really nice. Really delicious. These bags are a little weird, so I just got to figure them out here. We got like this little twist tie thing on them. I might just tape them closed. Let's see. That works. Apple pie squares. There you go. And then I'll move on to the rest of these. And then after this, I'm going to package up the chocolate covered brownie cherry bombs. And because I think they might be ready. And I'm going to package them either in these or the Ziplocs. And I'll give you guys a look after everything's packaged. Okay, so I finally finished packaging everything. There's a whole bunch underneath here too. A whole bunch of cookies, peanut brittle, a bunch. So now we just need to fill the boxes. Okay, so it's time to put the boxes together. I have the 8 big ones so far. These are the main people that I give to every year. The other ones are smaller boxes and they don't get as much. So I'm going to put a couple cowboy candy in for a couple. Ooh, that's kind of tall. Maybe I need one shorter. Some jalapeno garlic hot sauce that we made together in one of the videos. I also have our homemade extracts that we made. We have orange extract. Just one sec here, let me take these out. And we have mint extract. I bottled all these off camera. And lemon. These are all the ones we made together in the video. So I'm only going to give 1 or 2 to each person. They're not going to get every single kind that I made. There's only 6 of each one. Actually, there's only 5 of each one because I kept 1 of each for myself. Okay, so let's give this box orange extract. And then I also have a few of the aloe salves that we made as well. So we'll give this one lemon, this one mint. Orange, lemon, mint, orange, and lemon. And then I know not everybody likes hot sauce, so I'm only giving it to a few people here. There are some other boxes that I'm going to be sticking some of these ones in. We're giving them a salve each. The salves were mainly for my main boxes here. That. Okay, now I'm going to start putting in some of the goodies. So our fudge, a little bit of update on the fudge. So the chocolate chip fudge turned out perfect, but the eggnog fudge was a little soft. So I think this needs a little bit more of a thickener to it to make it stay together better. Off to the side so it doesn't get squished. Okay, our Thin Mint cookies, I gave them 1 of each kind. Not all the boxes are going to get everything. I just want to point that out. Okay. I'm going to give a few of these the pretzel rods. Not all of them. This one can get a smaller one. Actually, we'll take that one back. Oops. Okay. Then we have our cherry bombs. Some of the packages have 2 and some of them have 1. It just depends on how big the family is that I'm giving these boxes to. Okay, peanut brittle. Same thing, not every box is going to get them. This is why I made a variety of things. The boxes that I give to family usually get most of the stuff though. Okay, and then I'm doing the apple squares. Soft gingerbread cookies. We'll see if I can fit all this. Might need to rearrange these a little bit later. We'll see. Oop. Then we have our chocolate chip shortbread cookie. I'm going to have to rearrange some of these. Another soft one. Okay. Okay, so that's what I'm putting in these boxes. So let me rearrange these, and then I'm going to put the bow on top, and I'll give you a look at what they look like, and then I'll get started on the small ones and show you what they look like once they're done. Okay, I finally got all the boxes put together. There's 15 in total. So I just put a little bow on them and a little ornament and a little tag on who they're for. So 8 large and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 small ones. Almost forgot, I also did the tray too. All the goodies on it. So everyone, that was a really long 2 days and it's over. And I hope you enjoyed the video. And I hope to see you next time. Bye.